Hey everybody, Doug Belk here with Caliber Mind, coming back with another Caliber Mind Minute. This is tip number 2 out of 10 tips for planning for 2025. Yes, it's that time of year again. Second tip I want to share with you is to look at your top of funnel efficacy. Now, I gave a tip recently about top of funnel efficiency. What I want to talk about is how do you locate and understand the role of each channel and how effective it is in your overall channel strategy. So I know from a Caliber Mind standpoint, it's really, really important that we have a combination of channels feeding the top of funnel that do two things well. The first is that channels are creating a journey, creating an engagement, creating an awareness moment for a prospect that later on I might want to reach out to, or that later on might be coming back. So I want to make sure we're nurturing them in a digital way or with email or with other content to make sure that that journey succeeds. The second is there's channels that I very much want to convert down funnel all the way to revenue. So I want to look at both of those views. So the first view I'm going to share with you is in our funnels product. And that is, if we're thinking about efficacy, ultimately what we're thinking about is how much of my top of funnel is converting down to the next stages. And what you're seeing here is a table that shows the last several quarters going back to early 2023. And this heat map, if you will, except with a friendly lilac, is showing me where I'm behind in terms of conversions and where I'm ahead compared to historical periods. In other words, up to the point that Q1 occurred in 2023, historically, what were my conversion rates? And then how am I squaring in terms of conversion rates across the funnel? So I always like to start here. A lot of top of funnel issues can boil downstream in terms of effectiveness. In other words, quite often, a lot of your downstream bottom of funnel problems start at top of funnel. So I want to make sure this feels good and clean, especially as I'm planning to spend more in a future year from an allocation of campaign and or channel spend. So I'm eyeballing this real quick, and what this is telling me is that over time, we've got more and more efficient at the top of the funnel. So I'm going to go take another look. I'm going to take a look at the cohort slice of this product. But as I'm starting out, I'm saying, okay, this is good. Over time, we're seeing much higher conversions, which tells me that I've probably got a number of high converting channels at the top of the funnel. The other thing I'm thinking is, are we over indexing towards high converting? In other words, am I missing opportunities to ultimately start lower engagement conversations with prospects? So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go on over to our stage analyzer tool. And what I'm going to see here is a few charts, but the chart I especially really like looking at is the chart that shows me the number of journeys that have occurred over a particular period of time. Again, we're going back to beginning of 2023 because I'm looking for large trends. The more data I can get to understand what's working at the top of the funnel, the better. And what I'm doing here is taking a look at campaign types. Campaign types are a nice proxy for channels because really at the end of the day, your channels are the parent of a bunch of campaign types. So it allows me to get a good idea of which channels are working. So again, tip 2, look at your channel efficacy. So as I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is that I've got a lot of paid social coming our way. In other words, a lot of those first-time engagements are occurring with our paid social channel. And I'm also seeing like the steady eddies of organic search and display ads are contributing. So guess what? I've seen a surge in the amount of organic search we've been getting, which is high converting. But what's really interesting is we're doing a good job offering content with paid social. So as I take a look at this, what I'm realizing also is that I got a lot of traffic coming back here because people have landed on the site in the past, either through paid social or organic or display ad, and they're coming back to engage with content. So tip 2, look at the effectiveness and efficiency, the efficacy, if you will, of your top of funnel. And as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it in 2 ways. Number 1, what is the conversion rate over time? I want a higher conversion rate to the next stage, but I want to be careful I'm not over converting. In other words, I'm not getting nothing but high converting channels and campaign types and then missing out on other stuff. And as I'm eyeballing this, what I'm seeing is that my paid social channel and return visitors on direct content are converting well. I'm going to want to take a look at my display ads. I want to make sure the cost per visit here is appropriate. And then ultimately, I want to understand why paid social and paid search are converting so well. Okay, that's tip 2, both at the top of the funnel. One, look at the efficiency of your top of funnel. And the second is, how do I look at the effectiveness of it? Efficacy is key. All right, folks, that's my tip for today. Thanks for joining me.